Krishna Prasthaya Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Yes. So anyone remembers in our last session what we had? हमने क्या cover किया था? What we covered in our last session? Anyone would like to share? कोई share करना चाहेगा?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dhanan Pranam. Last time we discussed about the mental setup of a devotee, vice versa, the mental setup of a Duryodhana. Now, we talked about Arjuna as good Keshava, and then we talked about what is the turmoil in the mind of Arjuna. He is not seeing his people as enemy, though he is there to fight the war. He is now seeing his relatives and everyone. So that is the sense of a devotee.
Correct. Okay. So today's session will begin. I'll share my screen. Number 27. All of you can join me. Chanting. Ansimikshaya Sakonteya Sarvan Bandhanum Avasthitan Prapaya Praya Vishto Vishiddhanam Abrave. Anyone would like to chant the shloka? Krishna, would like to chant the shloka? Okay. Translation. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends, relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. When he saw different kinds of relations, relatives, and friends, like father, grandfather, brother, his father, grandfather, brother, teachers, maternal uncle, sons, grandsons, friends, father-in-law, and well-wishers, and different kind of relatives, when he saw, his compassion aroused. Compassion for what? I don't want to kill them. They will be unnecessarily killed. So many people will be killed unnecessarily. So that was the compassion. And this compassion is the divine quality. We'll see in the next verse how this compassion is divine quality. Arjuna vacha drashtve swajanam Krishna yuyutsam samupasthitam siddhanti mam gatrani mukam cha parishushyati. Translation. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. My body is quivering and my mouth is drying. This kind of symptoms Arjuna had. Seeing whom? Seeing his friends and relatives. Before that, what Arjuna saw? When Arjuna saw Duryodhana here, if you see, he was holding his bow. He was holding his bow. There it is. Here. Arjuna, he was took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrow, looking at the son of Dhritarashtra. When he was seeing the Duryodhana and son of Dhritarashtra, he was prepared to shoot his arrows. But next moment, what happened? He asked Krishna, Sene or Ube or Madhya, take my chariot in between both the armies. And Krishna is telling, behold the army. Arjuna, he is telling, in taking front of Bhishma and Drona, Krishna is telling, behold the army of these Kurus. He is telling to Arjuna. So seeing Bhishma and Drona, particularly Arjuna, he overwhelmed with compassion. His compassion aroused. And when his compassion aroused, he felt his limbs are quivering, he's shivering, his mouth is drying up. Parishushyati, mouth is drying up. And in the next verse, even more symptoms are there. His whole body is trembling. His hairs are standing on the ends. His gandiva, his bow, transcendental bow, which was given by Agnidev, is slipping from his hand. His skin is burning. All these symptoms he is experiencing. Seeing whom? His friends and relatives, Bhishma and Drona. So very nice purport it is. I'll read out entire purport. Prabhupada says, any man who has genuine devotion to the Lord has all the good qualities which are found in godly person and in the demigods, whereas the non-devotee, however advanced he may be in material qualification, by education and culture, lacks in godly qualities. As such, Arjuna, just after seeing his kinsmen, friends, relatives on the battlefield, was at once overwhelmed by compassion for them, who had so decided to fight among themselves. As far as his soldiers were concerned, he was sympathetic from the beginning. So we'll understand from here till here. Very interesting point Prabhupada has mentioned here, that any man who has genuine devotion for the Lord, he will have all the good qualities. What does that mean? We see many people around the world, especially in India, they say, yes, I am devotee of Krishna, so and so great devotee, I do this thing, do that thing. But when it comes to qualities, good qualities like non-violence, not telling the false things, like always telling truth, puffed up, all these things can be easily observed. All these things can be easily observed in them. They claim themselves to be a great devotee, but when it comes to the qualities of the devotees, there is nothing. All just is there, just for sake of saying, I am so and so, I am devotee of Krishna, I am, yes, I know this, that, everything. But qualities, when it comes to qualities, they will not have qualities. Whereas Prabhupada's mentioned particularly genuine devotion to the Lord has all good qualities, which are found in even godly persons or in the demigods, in the devtas, and in the godly persons. Such qualities are found. That qualities are there in the person who is having genuine devotion. In the scriptures, it is mentioned here, Bhagavatam says, Yasya yasti bhaktir bhagavati akanchana sarve gunastatra samshate suraha rau abhaktasya kuto madguna mano rathena sati dhavato vahi. one who has unflinching devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead has all good qualities of demigods. Samasta Guna Sura. Sura means demigods. All Samasta Sura means all demigods. But one who is not a devotee of Lord has only material qualifications that are of a little value. Even though he may have so many big material qualifications, he might be a very big scholar, he might be the scientist, he might be the head of the state. All such things are there. But if he don't have the devotion for the Lord, all his qualities are just like Shrama Evi Kevalam. Whatever hard work he is doing, whatever things he is doing, is of no value. Why it is? This is because he is hovering on the mental plane and is certain to be attracted by the clearing material energy. Because he is so much attracted by the glamour, so much attracted to the sense gratification, so much attracted towards the Maya, towards the enjoyment of the senses, he is not able to possess devotion in the Lord. Whereas the qualification of devotee or devotion is what? We should be free from all the sinful activities. What are the sinful activities? Simple sinful activities are like non-violence, not killing unnecessary, especially lower species. Lower species like nowadays there is a lot of this slaughterhouse industry is there. It is growing very fast. All these growing industries are growing just for gratification of our tongue, and it is very sinful. When we have such tendency to enjoy, we will not be able to develop the devotion for the Lord. Or whatever devotion we have, it will be minimized to zero. That devotion will be taken away. So these godly qualities, some people ask us how we can become free from anger, how we can be patient, how these things are possible. Or is it possible to become free from anger, free from all these, anarthas like patience, impatience? How it is possible? So Krishna mentions in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which has come here also, without developing genuine devotion to the Lord is not at all possible. So how to develop this genuine devotion for the Lord? Now we understood, okay, genuine devotion is very important to develop so that we can possess all these good qualities in ourselves. But how to develop all this genuine devotion, which is very important. So anyone would like to share how we can develop genuine devotion in ourselves? कोई शेयर करना चाहेगा how we can develop genuine devotion? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
By being compassionate towards all the living creatures.
But if we are compassionate to the living creatures, how it will help us to develop devotion for the Lord?
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
By doing services in the temple and associating with devotees.
Okay.
By chanting Hare Krishna.
Yes, by chanting Hare Krishna. Wonderful. So Rupa Goswami, he says, Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya Anartha Nivritti. So especially these 4-5 steps out of 9 steps, these 4-5 steps, what Rupa Goswami says, Ado Shraddha, when we have faith in the Lord, with that faith, when we associate with the sadhus or the devotees of the Lord, our faith become more intense. With that intense faith, when we serve the Lord, when we do the sevas, just like Mataji has told, when we do the sevas in the temple or whatever different kinds of seva we do at our respective positions. Suppose somebody does his seva by prana, artha, diya, vacha, different ways and means. He tries to serve the Lord. He develops more intense devotion for the Lord. When that intense devotion has developed, all these anarthas or the bad qualities, just like anger, lust, greed, pride, all these bad qualities will be minimized. And when those bad qualities minimized, will develop the genuine devotion. Be able to develop that genuine devotion. That is the process to develop genuine devotion. What is that? Bhajan Kriya, to engage in the association of devotees, to engage in the service of the Lord in association of devotees. Chanting Hare Krishna mantra, doing sevas in the temples, different ways means when we do the seva, we can develop all these good qualities, especially genuine devotion. Once we have such genuine devotion towards the Lord, automatically all good qualities will be imbibed in us. Samasate Suraha. All demigods' qualities will be imbibed in us. Now, continuing further, as far as his soldiers were concerned, he was sympathetic from the beginning. But he felt compassion even for the soldiers of the opposite party, foreseeing their imminent death, and so thinking, the limbs of his body began to quiver and his mouth became dry. He was more or less astonished to see their fighting spirit. But practically, the whole community, all blood relatives of Arjuna had come to fight with him. This overwhelmed a kind devotee like Arjuna. Although it is not mentioned here, still one can imagine that not only Arjuna's body limbs quivering and his mouth drying up, but also he was crying out of compassion. Such symptom is Arjuna were not due to weakness, but due to his soft-heartedness, the characteristics of pure devotee. It is not like he is having all these symptoms out of weakness, but all these symptoms are there because of his soft-heartedness, because of his compassion towards other living entities. And when we have such compassion, such soft heart for other living entities, for other jivas, this is the characteristics of a pure devotee. We can easily understand ourselves, where we lie, whether we have such qualities, whether we have such qualities for other living entities or not. It's become very easy to understand. Here, very important thing also Arjuna is mentioning. He is telling, Sajanma Krishna, all my relatives, all my kinsmen, they are standing before me. Very nice example Prabhupada gives here. He is mentioning only his kinsmen, his persons, not others' person. There are so many persons are there. Everyone is there on the battlefield. Why is considering his own persons? His own persons means Swajanma means his own persons, his own kinsmen. He is considering. Why only these people who are related to Arjuna, who are in relationship with Arjuna through blood relationship or various relationship, not others? Prabhupada gives very nice analogy. Just like a person is there, that person, when he is traveling, suppose some pickpocketer comes and steals some money, he will immediately take some legal action. He will immediately send that person to the police station. Immediately he will take all such actions. Whereas that person's same wife is there. He comes and he takes away the money from the pocket of that person. He will never take any action. He will not take any action against her. So that is the position of Arjuna. Swajanma, my own persons are there. How I can fight? Seeing them, my mouth is drying. So why it happens? When we identify ourselves with Deha Atma Buddhi, identification of ourselves is my body, my mind, my intelligence, this is what I am. When we identify ourselves as a body, as a mind, or as an intelligence, we'll act for the body only, or we'll act for the mind. Deha Atma Buddhi. We act only for these things rather than we being the soul, Jiva, Atma, will forget acting for the soul or Jiva or Atma. Will act only for body, bodily senses, and the mind. We'll try to satisfy our senses, gratify senses, so that we can become happy. But what will happen? It will not bring us happiness. Next verse, it is there. What happens when we try to act on the bodily platform? Very nice verse. Vepatuscha shariram te roma harshascha jayate gandivam samashasate hasta javat cheva pradhayate. My whole body is trembling and my hairs are standing on the end. My bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand and my skin is burning. This is another symptoms. If you see from the medical point of view, what kind of symptoms are these? Anyone has medical background who can share what kind of symptoms are these? If person goes through all these things, what we can say? In general, a person goes through all these things. Bhuvneshji, can you share? You have some medical background. Hare Krishna, Bhuvneshji. Hare Krishna. Bhuvneshji, Hare Krishna. Anyone would like to share? Basically,
depressed, Prabhu. Depressed.
Yes, depression, correct.
Symptoms of shock also.
Shock, correct. Shock is more very close. Especially these kind of symptoms are related to an attack of when somebody get very panic. These kind of symptoms are related to panic attack or attack caused by some fear. These kind of symptoms are because of that. So Arjuna's symptoms are there because of his material conception of life. What is that material conception of life? Deha Atma Buddhi. Based on bodily and mental level, we try to identify ourselves. We act on the platform of our body and our mind. When we act on that platform, it always results in stress. It is just like, suppose a person is there, a small child is there. Child try to feed some toy, some food he wants to feed to the toy. Toy is not at all eating the food. Child become very impatient. What is this? He is not eating food. I am trying. It's 10 minutes over, 15 minutes over. He is not eating food. Better let him. He will throw away that toy. So this material conception of life, when we act on the platform of body and mind, brings the frustration. How it brings the frustration, we'll see further. Here it is mentioned, Nacha, next verse, Nacha Shaknomi Vasthatum Brahmativa Cha me Manaha Nimittani Cha Pashyami Vipritani Keshavaha. Translation: I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself. My mind is reeling. I foresee only evil. O killer of the Keshav demon. He is addressing here, Arjuna is addressing Krishna as a Keshi demon. Keshava, killer of the Keshi demon, is addressing. And second thing, he is telling, I am not able to stand here. Arjuna, he came for what purpose? He came on the battlefield to fight. He was standing, he was ready to shoot his arrow when he saw the son of the Dhritarashtra. But now what has happened? He is not able to even stand. Even in the previous verse, we see the qualities of Arjuna. He was having confidence. Pandavas are having confidence in the Krishna. Arjuna is addressed as a Gudakesha. He is the controller of sleep, darkness, ignorance. And what happened to his confidence? Pandavas were full of confidence in Krishna. Now what has happened? Arjuna, he is not able to stand. He don't want to fight. Where their confidence has gone. अर्जुना का जो कॉन्फिडेंस है वो कहाँ चला गया? फेथ जो भगवान में इतना विश्वास है, क्या हो गया? What has happened to Arjuna? His faith is shattered or what?
अपने स्वजनों को सामने देखकर उनका कॉन्फिडेंस नीचे हुआ प्रभु। वो अपने स्वजनों को सामने देखकर उनका कॉन्फिडेंस नीचे हुआ। वो उनसे युद्ध नहीं करना चाहते थे।
Okay. Some other?
Because of compassionate.
Because of?
Yeah, he is showing compassionate nature. Faith is there, but his compassionate nature is making him.
But this compassionate nature is addressed as a godly quality, as a divine quality. His divine quality should not bring his confidence down to Krishna, or his confidence in Krishna reduced or not. What is that?
Confidence in Krishna did not reduce. It's just he had doubts on himself because he didn't want to kill anyone at that moment. He felt it is not worth it.
Yes, so very important thing here to understand is, even though we may have faith in the God, अटूट विश्वास जिसे बोलते हैं, unfathomable faith in the God. Many people, when we meet and all that, they have very nice faith, but some kind of difficulty comes in their life. They believe there is no God at all. Little inconvenience is there in their life. They say, oh, no, I don't believe in God anymore. For me, God doesn't exist. What is the reason? The reason is scriptures explains, especially our acharyas further explain, The thing is, when we have faith in the God, that faith is just out of some sentiments, out of some beliefs or certain things which are not help us to develop one firm conviction. It is not that stable. Just like to build a building, you should have a strong foundation. So that faith is not having that strong foundation. So how we can develop that strong foundation? That is explained by Acharyas. The scriptures is Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhim Vina Ekanki Harir Bhaktir Supatyeva Kalpate. So devotional service bhakti of the Lord that ignores the devotion or that bhakti that ignores authorized scriptures, literatures, Vedic scriptures like Upanishads, Puranas, Pancharatrika Vidhi is simply an unnecessary disturbance in the society. So when we don't read the scriptures, when we don't follow the scriptures, Puranas, Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, what happened? It simply creates the disturbance in the society. Even though we may have faith, our faith may shatter in the moment. Why? Because that faith is not properly supported by the philosophy. Just like we may have winter clothes, just now winter is over. We may have winter clothes, winter is there, but if we don't wear those clothes, it is of no use. We will shiver out of cold. Same way, even though faith is there, but with that faith, we don't associate with the sadhus, if we don't do the bhajan kriya means what? Reading scriptures, chanting Hare Krishna. If we don't do all these activities, what will happen? Our faith, whatever faith we may have, may shatter. Because if we don't do these activities, then automatically what activities will do? We'll do the activities based on our bodily conception. Hey Atma Buddhi, this is me, mine. Will act on the platform of Aham and Mameti. Aham and Mameti is what? Me and mine. Just like Arjuna, Sajanma. These are all my relatives. These relatives are mine. He is telling like that. He is acting on the platform of material conception of life. What is that? De Atma Buddhi. When we act on that platform, we will not be able to develop that devotion. So, it is very natural if we are not engaging ourselves in the devotional service of the Lord. अगर हम भक्ति नहीं कर रहे, if we are not doing devotional service, if we are not doing bhakti, then automatically we will be engaging in the bodily conception of life. We will be acting on the platform of Maya. It is very, very natural. Especially this material world, it is the by default thing. It is the by default thing. Will be acting on the platform of bodily level. So to overcome all these bodily level thing, we have to associate with the sadhus. We have to engage in reading the scriptures, Puranadi, Upanishads, Pancharatrika Vidhim. All these studies we have to do. When we do all these studies, our faith will become firm. Even though greatest of the storm is there, we will not be able to shatter our faith. Just like Arjuna, he has all the confidence in Krishna. What is happening? He is identifying himself on the bodily platform. When he is identifying himself on the bodily platform, he is frustrated. Now he is first frustrated and he is in distress position. To the extent he want to leave the war and he want to go go away. That is the condition of Arjuna here. Even though he has a confidence is there in Krishna. Just like Krishna is standing in front of Arjuna, he is having darshan of the Lord. But still, Krishna didn't told, oh, you take my darshan and now you fight. Krishna gave this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of all the scriptures, Vedic scriptures. That knowledge Krishna gave to Arjuna so that Arjuna can fight. Arjuna can perform his duty. Right? And one more very important word is there, Vipritani. Vipritani means which is opposite in nature. Just like Arjuna has come here to fight. But what is happening? He don't want to fight. He don't want to fight. So that is the nature of this material world. Everything, whatever we may try to do, it will always be opposite. Suppose I want to be happy, but what will happen? Stress, sadness, all these things automatically will come. I want to be happy, but all these things are coming. So it is just opposite what I want. Pritani. Just like suppose one person, he builds a house, but after 10, 15 years, 20 years, 50 years, that house is again shattered. That house is no longer. So nothing is permanent. He wanted to build such a house, or that house got a fire. He wanted to build a house, but this house got fire. So it is again opposite to what he wants. This material world, when we attach to especially material things, always will go through such things, will be opposite to our happiness or what we want. Why it goes against our will, what we desire against our will, why all these things goes against our will is so that we can inquire. Jivasya tattva jignasa. We are the jivas. We can inquire about all these inquiries, all these positions of distress we are going through. All these problems in our life comes for what reason? So that we can make inquire. We can make inquiries why I am put in such situation. Just like otherwise what happens? This material world will be always roasting us. Just like a corn is there, no corn kernel. If you roast, it becomes popcorn. Same way, what happens when we don't act on devotional service and we don't perform bhakti? Always things will act in opposite to what we want. Because I don't want this thing, but still it will act. I want to be happy, distress will come. All these things will happen. Why? Because that is the nature of this material world. That is the nature of this material world. Even when I was in college, this is how actually I came in Krishna consciousness. I was having a lot of ambitions, lot of desires. I thought these things will give me happiness. These things will satisfy me. But I was seeing just opposite is happening. I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy. Again I want something. Again I want something. What is that which is going to help me? What is the ultimate thing that I want in my life? That answer I got. Same way what happens? This material world is always like this. Nature of this material world is like this. But it will always try to roast us so that we can make tattva jignasa. We can make inquiries. We can ask questions about our existence. Actually, this is what Arjuna is going through. He is going through is the existential crisis. Existential crisis means what? Existential crisis is simply when we don't know about our existence, who we are. Suppose a person is there, he belongs to very rich person, but due to some incident, he came on the road. Now he forgot his identity. He don't remember that I am son of so person who is the richest person. So what will happen? He will be frustrated. He will be full of distress. So this identity plays a very important role in our actions, what the actions we perform. So when we are clear with our existence, who we are, what is our identity, we'll be able to act in a proper way. Just like a person is there, he met with an accident. He goes in the condition or in the situation of coma. He is also distressed. His family members are also in distress situation. Both are in distress situation. Why? Because this person is not recognizing anymore. He has gone into coma. किसी को पहचान ही नहीं रहा है. He is not able to identify anyone. Everyone is disturbed. His friends are disturbed. His family members are disturbed. Relatives are disturbed. Because his identity has changed. He is not able to recognize. So same thing is happening to Arjuna. Arjuna is going through existential crisis. It is not like Arjuna's confidence in Krishna has gone down. It is not like that. Still he is confident of Krishna. We'll see. That's why he surrenders to Krishna and asks Krishna, now please guide me. He is full in confidence with Krishna. But what is happening? He is going through the existential crisis. That is the thing. When we don't read the scriptures, especially Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, will act whimsically. Will not be able to understand what is our position. Will not be clear with our identity. When we are not clear with all these things, always there is a condition of frustration. Condition of frustration, condition of distress. All these things will be there. This is very important thing one should understand. That's why this Bhagavad Gita is very, very important. Even though you have highest of the faith in Krishna, when you read Bhagavad Gita, deepens your faith, strengthen your faith to the such extent, even the strongest of the storm in your life cannot shake you. Same Arjuna, after hearing the message of Krishna, this Bhagavad Gita, is ready to fight. And we all know he kills everyone, including Bhishma, Drona, everyone he kills. Who are the Maharathis. Arjuna is nothing in front of all these great warriors. But he kills all of them. That is the value that Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam brings in our life. That is very important thing to understand, to learn here. That we should act on the platform of devotional service. We should try to serve Krishna, and especially by chanting, by hearing his message, by reading Bhagavad Gita. When we are clear of all these things, it will help us to serve Krishna. Very nice purport also Prabhupada mentions here. Due to his impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield. He was forgetting himself on the account of weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in a bewildering condition of existence. This is what is existential crisis. he will be put in the condition of bewildering condition of existence. Again, Prabhupada is then further mentioning Bhayam Dutiya Veshitaha. Such fearfulness, loss of mental equilibrium, or mental equilibrium will also be lost, just like Arjuna, he lost. His mind is really take place in a person who is too affected by material conditions. He is too much attached to the material conditions. His mind, his body, his senses is too much into satisfying of his senses, especially tongue. He wants to satisfy by eating some good food stuffs to enjoy senses. He is too much attached to his bodily concept of life, material condition. Arjuna envisioned only unhappiness in the battlefield. He could not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The word nimitta is significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? See, when a person sees the frustration in his life, he asks basic question, simple question, why I am here? Why I am suffering like this? This is the purpose of this material existence. This material existence try to make us frustrate so much so that we can make this jigyasa, tattva jigyasa, atata brahma jigyasa. What is that? Who am I? Who am I? Why I am here? All these jigyasas we make. Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is supposed to show disregard for self-interest by submission to the will of Krishna. Very nice thing. Arjuna is supposed to show disregard for the self-interest by submission to the will of Krishna, who is everyone's self-interest. Who is everyone's self-interest. The conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pain. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. So see, Arjuna, he is identifying himself on the basis of bodily platform. And when he is acting on that bodily platform, he is going through all this lamentation. He is crying. He is not ready to fight. Further, we'll see the reasons he is going to give. When we forget all these things, when we act on the platform of body, all this frustration, distress will come. Whereas when we act on the level of soul, Jiva, we are Atma, when we act on that, and this soul is what? This soul is the part of Krishna. Ame Vamsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. We are the part and parcel of Krishna. When we act on that platform to satisfy Krishna, to serve Krishna, will bring happiness and joy in our life. That is the real self-interest. Not for me, not for you, but for everyone. But for everyone. Very nice thing Prabhupada mentions, that why thinking like that, Swajanma means my own persons. When we are on the bodily platform, we identify based on our body. These all people, this person is mine, this father is mine, sister is mine, brother is mine, mother is mine. Whereas when we act on the level of soul, Jivira Sarup Koi Nitya Krishna Das, when we act on the level of Krishna's servant, part of Krishna, even an ant will not want to kill the ant also. Entire world will become our brother, sister, mother, father. Will relate all of them to ourselves. Just like Vasudeva Kutumbakam, this is what is the goal of G20. They want to make the society as a Vasudeva Kutumbakam. But if they don't bring the Vasudeva into the Kutumbakam, into that existence, how it can be Vasudeva Kutumbakam? It cannot be. How much ever you may try. Suppose you want Ram Rajya, but you don't want to go to Ayodhya, you don't want to go to Kashi, you don't want to go to Vrindavan, Mathura, you want to go to Hong Kong, Bangkok, Thailand, Goa, this place, that place. How Ram Rajya will come? How Ram Rajya can be established? When we don't teach our children all these things, rather we take them to Goa, Bangkok, Hong Kong, Thailand, Switzerland, all these places. What they will learn? They will not learn about the qualities of Lord Ram. They will not learn the qualities of Lord Krishna. How we can expect Vasudeva Kutumbakam? How we can expect Ram Rajya? It cannot be possible. So same way, when we act on the platform of Krishna, as a servant of Krishna, when we serve Him, when we develop relationship with Him, even each and every living entity will be able to relate, will develop this quality known as compassion very easily. Not for our own person, but for everyone. For everyone. So, we'll end here. If anyone has any question or anything to share, please share or feel free to ask. Anyone has any question? So, tomorrow is a Gaur Purnima. It's a very special opportunity for all of us to render the devotional service to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Krishna, came 500 years ago to spread the message of Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Krishna. But many people they misunderstood Bhagavad Gita. So he practically shown how to implement the teachings of Bhagavad Gita into his life and how we can implement. So he appeared for that purpose. Krishna again appeared to spread the message of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Harinam Sankirtan. And he made the prediction that throughout the world, this chanting will go on in every village and town. That desire, Srila Prabhupada, he fulfilled. Tomorrow is the opportunity for all of us to render devotional service in various ways and means, by chanting, by attending, witnessing the Abhishekam. All various ways we can serve the Lord. And when we serve the Lord, this genuine devotion develops. Just like we all of us want to develop godly qualities, we want all such godly qualities should be there in us. We should be free from anger, lust, greed, pride. All these things we should be free, or we should have godly qualities like truthfulness, free from anger, humility, pridelessness. All these things should be there in us. But we don't want God in the picture. So how it is possible? Won't be possible to develop godly qualities without having God in the picture, the center. So when we serve the God, we develop all these godly qualities. It is very much possible. So that genuine devotion can happen when we serve the Lord by various means, by various ways, especially by prana, artha, diya, vacha. When we serve the Lord, we attain the perfection of the life. We can overcome all these existential crises, just like Arjuna faced. Our faith will be formed. How it can be formed? By doing the adhyana of the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. When we read these scriptures, when chant Hare Krishna Mantra, all these things help us to develop the firm faith in the Lord. We can overcome all the obstacles very easily. Right? Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Krishna.
Okay,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.